So VMA has always had kind of like a
Can't
robust
hear you.
community engagement thing. But I thought similarly to you that I might bring a kind of different perspective to it. And we tried last year to do a variety of additional events on top of the ones that we already have, and some were successful, some
Mhm.
but that's kind of how things go. And I'm glad to be part of it again for this year.
Okay, thank you. And I'm Keith Allen, who has been here longer than any of you have been alive, I can assure you of that. And basically, I am the chairman of the committee and hopefully will continue to be that. But all the good ideas come from the other people we have here on the committee. I'm just sort of a liaison person or someone that oversees what goes on and a presider. And I like to roll up my sleeves. I'm the last house on Turner Lane. And I'm very happy to supply electricity, water, whatever else. And any other kind of help I can lend to any events and activities here in the great town of Martin's, the community of Martin's Additions.
Awesome. Okay, so we've had the call to order. We've had the introduction. We have to elect committee members already? Like this is like very involved. Like
Well, the really only thing we need is the chair. That's kind of the person that just runs these meetings.
the vice chair.
And the vice chair, that person's not able to attend.
Okay.
And then the secretary is really just the requirement to like write some minutes up, which we will then pass at the next meeting. So if you could just, whoever does that, if they can just be ready for the next meeting, I can post them all for you all. You just need to vote to approve them the next meeting.
And typically the way that we've done the secretary is like we've even like kind of shared the responsibility of people taking minutes. So it's not
Yeah.
like the same. Okay.
That's
All right.
totally okay. If you
Yeah.
want to rotate it or if someone wants to volunteer,
Okay.
that's fine. And then otherwise, yeah, it's all up to you. And then we'll talk about the events, and we have the events pretty dialed in, and the ones that we've been doing
Yeah.
repeatedly. So it'll just be a conversation about improvements and then staffing and volunteering those events. Which day of is normally when I need the most help.
So I'm sorry, how do we go back electing committee officers? Do people just volunteer for a position and
Or someone can nominate someone, or someone can step up and volunteer.
okay.
All right, I'm gonna start with that because I'd like to be the chair. If you'll let me do it again for another year. I'm here tonight for that reason, to be elected and to run the meeting here. I was asked to be at the fire board meeting. Would be my first one tonight, but I put that aside till next month so that I can do what we're doing here this evening. And welcome Lucy.
Great.
I will volunteer to be the vice chair. So, or the secretary, I really don't care one way or the other. I think I was vice chair last year.
Correct.
Either way. So,
Is there a second for those proposals?
oh yeah, sorry. All right, yeah. I'll second you for chair.
Second you for vice chair.
Yep,
Okay.
sounds good.
Everyone in favor, say
All in
aye.
favor? Aye for
Follow
him
Robert's
and-
rules.
yeah. A little loosely.
And then secretary, do you all feel like you want to rotate it, or does someone want to volunteer to kind of be the person to write the minutes every time?
I'm happy to help. I kind of feel like I don't want to take on the full job, but I'm happy to rotate, be part of a rotation.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll do them for tonight then. I'll kick it off.
Okay.
And
So we probably, do we need like somebody actually to be the secretary, like on paper and then?
No, you don't. Yeah,
Okay.
it's not. Just the minutes are a requirement, but who it is doesn't matter.
Got it. Okay.
Um,
We're done.
Okay, so we can discuss the rest of the events for the fiscal year of 2026. And that would start with the Night of Lights, which we did last December, which was very successful, even in the rain, in a cold rain. And that went over really very, very well.
mhm.
We had strategically set up tables we had them positioned in different parts of the community here. As people came through there, we had apple cider Michael made sure that it was hot, and we had cookies,
Mhm.
and, you know, it was really, really neat. It was really well done. And we'd like to do that again.
So a couple comments about the Night of Lights event, which was a first time last year, is we ordered way too much. I think hot cocoa was the
Cider.
idea.
Sorry.
So we had a ton of hot cocoa, and there was like leftover hot cocoa in here for months, um, which is going bad.
Sounds like
And then
me.
cider. And the other thing is Yasmina, I think, did a lot of work last year to try to recruit street captains to be the host of several different things, and that had varying levels of success. Someone could probably call her and get kind of her perspective on that. There was some people that never stepped up, or some people said they were going to step up and then didn't, and then some people stepped up and then last minute backed out, only to be like replaced by neighbors, and it was kind of a chaos. So the idea is that we were creating, multiple booths around the village and dropping off supplies, and then they were kind of hosting that little party at that spot, and then we could make a map and people could walk around to the different ones. Great idea. I almost wonder if we should simplify it and say, like, let's just find 4 people to do it instead of trying to get 13 different booths. And have very specific, that way we can have a tent for every single one. We can have a dedicated location, and we have to say, like, regardless of what the weather is, because the fact that it was raining meant some people wanted to drop out, but then that caused kind of chaos with our entire plan. So
What about the street captains? Are we gonna keep those, or what's the plan with that?
street captains have been kind of an ongoing headache. Maybe Paul can comment about it, but um, we have several streets that just don't have any volunteers, and then several have dropped off, and so they don't want to do it anymore. And then there's several that like don't do anything. When we used to have the street captains hand out flyers for all our events, and that was also kind of a pain in the ass. To be frank, we're recording, but oh well. So we've ended up, actually, this resolution for that, David came up with the idea of it, just like, let's purchase a postage machine and mail the postcards for invites to events. And we did that for the Halloween event. Hopefully you all saw those.
You did. You got the postage machine?
We got a postage
I-
machine, and we're playing with the printer.
Simple and brilliant idea.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also the new listserv, which probably is. the way
Yes.
to do things too.
Yeah, the interesting thing with the listserv is like it's like by law it has to be separate from the village, like
Mhm.
so it like which is it's a great way to communicate with the village, but it's not like an official communication method that the village of Martin's Additions communicates. So
I do think it's totally okay if residents want to cross,
no,
or
100%.
even if you want to cross post on there, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to post on there. But I do have every single person's email, and I'm trying to get everyone's cell phone numbers, and now I'm actually texting people. So I'm going to start doing that before events
yeah,
too.
I do the texting thing now.
It-
like that, or
I haven't been using it enough for people to kind of get familiar with it, but I'm going to start doing that for our events. I think like a day before or something, send a
Yeah.
text. So that kind of resolves one of the big things that we needed street captains for. The other thing that we really wanted street captains for was to be able to like help us keep track of who's moving in and out of the street and kind of be eyes on the block. And that really doesn't work. Most of the street captains, I should say, don't know who lives on their street. I'm the one who's telling them, hey, that's house for sale. Do you know what happened to them? Or so and so went into hospice care. Do you know like what the status is, or who's taking over the house? There's all those types of situations that are playing out, and it ends up being me and the assistant village manager, Aaron, doing a ton of work to track those down. So the street captain is kind of our null and void. But I mean, it's a great idea, and I love it when they do it. And there's several that are active, and so I don't want to discourage them from being active. Steve Howard on Taylor is incredible, and then several street captains have been hosting block parties for Halloween. There was, I think, 3 different block parties kind of naturally sprung up. Two of which I supported, and one of which happened without me signing the form saying it was allowed to happen, but it just happened and everyone on the street was, loved it. So,
You mean they actually closed down the street?
yeah, they closed down Dead End Delafield without without asking me permission.
And
They closed it down.
That's fine. Yeah.
That's not.
Yeah, and I mean I support it, so and if there's anything we can do to help those types of activities, and if there's street captains that want to stay on and be involved, and is someone to pull from for this event, that's the first place to reach out to, like who wants to host these things. I know
it's been my my observation that the street captains here are more like voluntary rather than obligatory. So like it's not something we can rely on. It's something that's nice when it happens kind of organically. And like as it relates to things like the Night of Lights, which was very like resource intensive on it needed actual people to like participate. I honestly don't know like how we do that because Yasmina was like the dedicated person. It was like her idea, and she was like the dedicated person
she was great.
roping people in. And she spent a lot of time in the days leading up to it and the day of getting it done. So I don't know how we do that, to be honest, if we don't have like a sponsor.
But to Michael's point earlier, what about if we get 4 enthusiastic participants, then we can go ahead and let's say, because when I saw Yasmina the other day, she said she's hoping that we would do the Night of Lights again. So I'm assuming that she would be one. And then the only question is, do we need a bit of geographic dispersal, through the neighborhood for
Would be
it to make
ideal.
sense?
Turn it into more of like a, winter block party type thing where you have the lights up, but I don't know, like
It's more
what,
free-form. People
this
get there.
part of, Turner's closed and this part of that, and other streets closed, and then you have like people congregate in like different places.
I think yeah.
Or maybe not, the street doesn't even have to be closed.
Yeah, no, it's a great idea. Or we don't look for volunteers. We see who is willing to do it rather than like prescriptively ask people to. That way we can say, all right, these 3 streets are going to do this. They've announced their intention to do it. We can support that rather than saying, oh, we have 13 street captains, so we need 13 people to do this. Maybe it just happens on a few streets. And
Yeah.
What day of the week is it? Like a Sunday or something?
I forgot what we did last year, but that one talking about the date, it would be the next step. But as far as like I already have kind of some people in my mind, people that were successful last year, and then Barbara Sachs Singer, who was on the committee last year and lives on Thornapple, hosted one on her porch, and that worked pretty well. Yasmina, obviously, Quincy has a good street captain, Michael Krakoff. And then the village, we hosted one out front here, so we're kind of the central point here. So doing it on the sidewalk works.
All of those people are between the southern end of Brookville and here.
Quincy, Shepherd, here, Thornapple on the far north end. And then the last one that I didn't mention is Katie Howard, who resigned from the council, but I could probably get talked into stepping up and doing that. And her husband is the street captain that I mentioned earlier, who's Steve Howard. He's really good. So that's 4 plus the village right there of sites. The other thing that was a lot of work last year that Yasmina was, and the entire committee, I think, came in and took shifts packing the little lights and hand delivering one to every single door. I kind of think there's probably an easier way to do that as well. We probably could just give a box of those pre-ready to go at each of the tables. So come by, pick up your light, pick up a cup of coffee or something, or a cocktail if you want to, and then you can take it back and put it on your porch for the rest of the night. Also, it was raining, so the lights got pretty beat up. So
I think that's a great way to do it. So identified 4, maybe 5 people we're pretty confident would participate. We centralize the lights at a table with that person. If people are interested, they can pick one up. Yeah, I think that's great.
So would someone like to take the lead on this? Obviously, I'll be involved because I'll be needing to place the orders for stuff.
I'm happy to reach out to
these 4 or 5.
Barbara and
Michael.
Michael, yeah.
Perfect.
Who was the other girl besides Barbara that was that was on our committee?
Susan Mitchell, maybe.
Susan, yeah.
Yeah,
And she
Susan.
told you she wasn't interested in doing anything with us. Or,
I forget what the. I mean, I'm sure there was a reason. I forget what the
Okay.
rationale was. About moving on.
okay,
and
we
not
might
sticking
be
with
able
her,
to
but-
get their help just for that one event.
Yeah, and they live on Bradley, I think.
She, the reason it wasn't because she disliked you or me.
Hope not.
They bought a house in Spain, and so they're gonna spend like half the year there.
Oh.
Okay, well, then,
Fantastic.
they might be down there Sunday watching the Four Commander.
God.
We won't go there, right?
But we have 4 or 5 spots listed out, and if multiple of them pull out, then we can maybe open it up or brainstorm about who else to
We just,
invite.
like, if people pull out, we just
Shrink the
we
size
get-
of it.
yeah, exactly. It becomes like a village thing and like one other street or something. That's fine too, right? Like,
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with that. So
So it's advertised, and we didn't make it out because of the rain and my little kids, but so it's advertised as Night of Lights. Come have a drink with your neighbor and pick up a light and then put it on.
And last year we ordered a bunch of cookies and hot chocolate and apple cider for each place.
Okay.
I ran a crock pot out the window with a extension cord out the window to have a crock pot on the thing. So there was hot apple cider
Oh,
here.
yeah.
Which I would encourage the host to do because it was cold. So having hot cider there with a bunch of paper cups, and then if you care to spike it, we aren't commenting on that. Yeah.
we'll not support it.
And what date are we thinking about then? Do we second?
So it was in December last year. I forget the actual date, and maybe someone has that. Which means we're like a month out.
No, Sunday.
Yeah.
Was it a Sunday last year?
Yeah, it was the second Sunday of the month.
Of this.
14.
I'm trying to make sure that we don't have any inclement weather on
Yeah.
that day.
Thank you.
The 14th.
That'll be my job.
The 14th of December. So either the 13th, which is a Saturday, the 14th is probably good. After that, it gets probably too close to Christmas to be worthwhile.
Yeah.
So-
Definitely. That would be the latest I would want to do it because
So the 13th is Sunday, the 13th, right?
So
Yeah,
Saturday
14th.
is the 13th, Sunday is the 14th. So I would say either do it Sunday the 7th or Sunday the 14th.
We'll vote on that.
What do you guys think?
Either one, I don't have a strong preference if anybody else does.
I think the closer to Christmas we get, the less likely people are to like, people just get distracted, right? So maybe the 7th.
All right.
the only thing about the 7th is that is like 3 weeks from now. So we're pulling off an event in 3 weeks. Which is okay.
We can do that.
Shooting it down. And then do we remember the time of that last year? I should have pulled up the flyer. Sure.
I think it was really when it got dark. It was like about 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
6 to 7:30, something like that.
6
Yeah.
o'clock.
Good.
All right.
Okay, December 7th.
Paul, you want to talk to Yasmina?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll reach out to I've got everybody's contact details.
And happy to help, or you want to copy me in on emails.
And just to make it's Steve Hard, Barbara, Michael, what's Michael's last name?
Brackoff.
Rakoff with a K, Yasmina, and yourself. That's it. Is
Yeah,
there somebody else that missed out?
I think that was it.
Yeah, I've got their contact details. I can reach
So
out.
that's 2 on the north side, 2 on the south side, and me in the middle.
Yeah.
That works pretty good.
Mhm.
And then we can order the same thing we ordered last year. I'll probably just maybe mix it up a little bit,
Steve and Katie will
and order less.
be over here on the north side, right?
Hopefully, I mean, everyone needs to opt in, and make sure they're available that night and stuff. And if someone's not available, we can always try to find someone else, or just slim it down to have 4, 3
Okay.
different booths. That's fine.
So then what about just communicating as a committee in the meantime over the next 3 weeks when we're not, so when we're not gonna meet? How do we, we'll just send emails out or get on a quick call or something
Yeah,
like that?
send emails or call each other.
Okay, that's fine.
That's what I recommend. Yeah.
Are you having the person that hosts kind of, are you gonna put in your messaging that these are the stops? and you
Yeah, I think
go to-
Yasmina last year made a flyer, so we can
Mhm.
do that. Or if one of you have a flyer making skills, with taking our map and putting a big star or something putting a big lantern where the different booths are.
Okay.
So that people feel like they can walk around, or if some people just want to go to the closest one, that's fine. But we should definitely have enough, those people should feel comfortable bringing out their own stuff. If they want to add candies or whatever, that's fine.
You wanna purchase the lanterns?
Yeah, we'll
Like last year.
need to purchase the lanterns, and we'll need to purchase the order for the night of to arrive that night. They arrived to the office, and then I drove them around to everybody. So
Okay.
this year it'll be easier because it's half the
Just
amount
before
half
stop.
the amount of stops,
Cool.
and hopefully it's not raining.
All right.
What
So,
if it's snowing? That'll
That could be fun.
people
That could be
even
fun.
more spirit.
I'm from Washington State, so I'll tell you, I don't believe in changing plans for the weather. You just have to full steam ahead.
Yeah.
I don't want a rain date. That means you have to plan 2 events.
There's no such
Don't-
thing as bad weather, only the wrong clothes.
Right, there you go.
okay, so since we kind of put a pin in the Night of Lights thing, I think that's great. I think for a new member, we should probably step back just a tiny bit and like talk about like the philosophy around like the events and how we ended up where we did, just very briefly. So I guess to bring you up to speed, like VMA had a handful of events traditionally that it was doing every year. Like the community brunch is a big one, Halloween, summer movie nights in the park, things like that. People love. Last year we decided to try out some additional events. The idea being, well, it would be nice maybe if we did a community event every month of the year, so like 12, whether people wanted to do it or not. We threw in another movie night, like at a local movie theater, the Avalon. I think we tried doing an ice skating thing, and we tried doing something else.
Is there a wine tasting?
Well, the Night of Lights was a new one,
The Night of Lights was a new one.
and then the wine tasting was the other idea that we never actually pulled off.
We never actually pulled off because it was going to be December of this year, and I think between the last committee ending and this one starting, we just didn't get around to it. But the whole idea was this committee is open not just to trying to do a great job with the traditional ones that the community loves, but trying new things as well. So if you have ideas that you want to share, or like I think it's great. Like we put forward like 3 ideas last year. I think 2 of them were received mediocrely. One was great, and I think that's fine. We find what works and we move on. So again, this isn't to put anybody on the spot,
Yeah.
but anybody who has an idea about future events, please let them be
What
known.
were the 2 you would say didn't really hit the mark?
Well, the movie at the Avalon, I thought had great potential. The thing is it was like a last minute thing, and we didn't get a lot of people. We didn't advertise it well and stuff like that. The ice skating thing was kind of a bust, I think, although I loved the idea.
It does seem like the events that are outside the community are harder. People have to
That's it, yeah.
leave
Yeah.
Martin's Editions.
Yeah.
Versus the Night of Lights, like I think really worked.
Yeah. I know like section 3 does a lot, like just like thinking from my like family dynamic, like they'll do like a random summer party. I mean, we have our big 4th of July, but they'll have like a magician and a DJ in their little dog park. Like a random summer Saturday, and it's like a nice thing for people with kids to just like all go to the park and like have something to entertain their kids. They also do like food trucks a lot over there, which is kind of just like a nice way to like we could gather people down at our park just with food trucks and coolers or.
You're talking about the thing that they do on Saturdays over here, right?
Oh, I don't know if it's every Saturday, but I just think bringing a food truck in to like just specifically to Martin's Edition and, you know, advertising it to our.
That's a farmer's market.
No, like, over at the dog
Dog
park in
park,
section
yeah.
3, they'll have like barbecue, yeah, and then we'll like, who is it, Jean on Shepherd Street, will send, yeah, she'll just send it like, oh, at like 4 o'clock, I just heard there's a, you know, food truck over there, but it'd be kind of nice to have it planned for our neighborhood, rather than like hearing about it last minute.
So I'm familiar with those events
Yeah.
and friends with the manager over
Yeah.
there now, the new manager, Kelly Mitch, and they require everyone to pay for their own meal. So they just guarantee to those food trucks a certain number
A
of
minimum.
customers that are going to
Right.
show up, or
Right.
otherwise they're on the hook for it.
Yeah.
And then they just schedule it and promote it as fast as they can. And I think some of them even like place orders ahead of time, and it gets complicated. They do a couple other events over there that I'm interested in too. Like one of the things on the first day of school, maybe it's the last day of school, first day of school, they do an ice cream truck for all their kids.
Yeah.
And then they don't let our kids eat from the ice cream truck because they have paid for it, and and somehow their manager like knows every single kid. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know a single one.
So, you know, not just.
Yeah, and we also like want to be mindful that we're not competing with the shops here,
Right.
especially because, you know, some of them sell ice cream and those types of things. So there's that sensitivity. But the evening, like bringing in a food truck, like they could probably park right on the side of the market. No one's here at night.
The
Like,
grocery stores close after like 5 or 6.
yeah, and we would give them a courtesy, like let them know and make sure they're okay with it. But I think that could really work, especially in.
You know, I've always been like kind of by the time I hear about the section 3 one, I've already made dinner, you know, I feel like it's always kind of last minute. So I think it could be fun to kind of do our own thing. And of course, section 3, you know, could come over too. But
Meeting the minimum of food truck is relatively is like $1,000 or something. Is that what they
Yeah,
generally
and who
run?
cares if we have to pay it versus, you know,
Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying.
if it's a
like,
dud event, then we're on the hook.
if nobody shows up, we're out $1,000. Like,
Yeah.
VMA's in an enviable.
I wish we would do it on the nights of the council meetings, because one, I'm here late,
Get people to show up.
and then you could get people to show up, you
Yeah.
know, come get your meal and come upstairs and kind of make it a more of a.
Yeah,
That's a
I mean,
good-
hello.
that's a good
It's actually a
idea.
great
Do
idea. Get people, give an incentive to get people interested in the,
Okay.
In the community process.
yeah.
Obviously not through the holidays or the winter, but maybe in the spring, that's something we can look at.
yeah.
I put it on my
Hey,
list.
Michael.
Yeah, Andrew.
Michael, one of the things I just want, I'll be there in a second. I'm just bringing my kid back from soccer, but you guys all know Clay Boys, the shaved ice folks in Bethesda.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys, you know, we've had them at our house, and there's I don't know if it's $100 minimum or whatever it is. I can find out from my wife, but they're fun too, and they're really easy to schedule. They got 4 or 5 trucks. Just thinking, you know, in terms of like first day of school or last day of school, things like that. That could be fun as well. It doesn't always have to be just an ice cream truck. Those guys are really great. So just wanted to
Awesome.
add that.
I think back to your original question, like we were spitballing some ideas last year, axe throwing, like whitewater rafting, I think, but Michael's right. Anytime we leave the community, it becomes more like
Yeah.
just less uptake, and it makes perfect sense. So, the wine tasting thing, I think, has opportunity. It was originally conceived offsite at like a wine school in like Friendship Heights, but honestly, like I want to put some more effort into that. Maybe try to like stage it at La Ferme or something. Like to see if we could do like a wine tasting there. That would turn out. The idea was we do a lot of events for like kid related events. Maybe it'd be nice to do a couple more like adult related like events for. So that's kind of where we ended up.
I love the idea of doing it at La Ferme or even in the village office.
Yeah. Yeah.
But doing like a happy hour style,
Yeah.
like for adults only kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think last year there was a lot of interest about that on the committee, but we never pulled that one off. But I think if it's in the village and it's kind of just open, you know, the problem with the school is it was a ticketed event, right?
Yeah.
So we
Yeah,
we
yeah.
had about all the conversations about what is village dollars going to help 20 people drink wine, versus if it's everyone drinking wine,
Yeah.
that raises less eyebrows.
Okay.
So that's a great idea. So I have written down all of these ideas, and I'm for doing all of them as long as we can actually pull off all the events we've already
Yeah.
have on the docket.
So I'll go
Please,
through the
please.
calendar like real quick about the ones that are typically on the docket. So the next one, community brunch, that's typically in March.
Yeah.
BMA brunch. So after the Night of Lights, sometime in December, the next one currently scheduled is the brunch, which is typically in March.
I think it was like first weekend in March.
First
normally.
weekend in
Yeah.
March at La Ferme. That's always popular. People turn out. That's great.
And real quick, last year that was the 40th anniversary, so that we did extra programming and extra food and all sorts of stuff for that. So this year we can scale it back a little bit, but they do such a good job over there. That's the easiest event for me because I just write a check and we're good.
Where did the county executive came to that?
We had all sorts of people there last year.
In March of last year is when we did the Avalon movie at the Avalon, so we can continue to discuss whether or not we want to try to do something there. We got to pick the movie that, you know, we just decided, we spitballed it, what kind of movie do we want to show, and then people showed up. May is the election event, sidewalk event,
And that's already scheduled for May 5th.
May 5th.
That's the election celebration.
Okay. And then we have our 4th of July event,
Last Sunday of June.
which is always the last Sunday of June.
June
29th.
28th this year.
Yeah. We have August movie nights. Typically 2, one in August and one in September. First weekend in August, and either the last weekend in August or the first weekend in September, typically.
I think we tried
We
two
only did
movies
one this
last year, and every other year it's just been one.
Okay.
So include
About those.
Sure.
So, the movie nights, does it have to be dark?
yeah, it's at least needs to be dusk.
Okay. Cause I feel like they,
You're thinking about young kids.
right, like
Yeah.
I feel like they start at like 8 or 8:30.
You know, we've actually found that when we've done two movies, we'll try to do one for the kids and one for the adults. The PG-13 movies get a much bigger turnout, like twice as many people. Because I think the parents are down to tell their kids about it and come out for it.
Yeah.
Versus the kids movies have been much harder.
It's like past bedtime too.
Right, for the
Right.
for
Yeah.
yeah. No, that's a good perspective, and I'm glad you're on the yeah.
Again, if you can't see the screen, then there's really no point.
Yeah, and they're in the summer when it's nice weather. And we have had really nice weather for those. But I think it was Barbie last year and then Top Gun the year before that were both like really good turnout.
Yeah.
But your point is well taken, like, it's light until 7:30 or something, so.
Yeah, no, I
it's-
get it, yeah.
Yeah.
Curious.
And this year we did add a popcorn truck for that event,
Very-
which
very
was
popular.
a huge success.
Yeah.
It definitely raises the prices, and we can talk about the budget. You all don't need to worry too much about the budget, but I am keeping track. The council raised the budget for events like several years in a row, so now it's up to 55,000 a year. So we never go back down. We just kind of leave it at the higher rate. Because we were doing more events and because there was the 40th that we knew we wanted to celebrate big. So we have $55,000. The movie night this year, the total cost ended up being $2,300 almost, with $1,000 for the Fun Flicks movie rental, and then $750 for the kettle corn truck. And then we also have to get a permit.
The kettle corn was legit though, so.
The kettle corn was it was worth it. So $2,300 for the movie night, and then the Halloween event this year came to a total of $7,500.
Is that it? Really? That was a lot of like stuff.
We do a lot, yeah.
Actually relatively affordable considering all the stuff that we did.
Is that from you?
And the chocolate coins.
So we've spent about $10,000 so far. So that means we still have $45,000 left to spend on these other events. So I'll keep a track
The
on
most
it. But
expensive one is typically the brunch though, right? Like,
the brunch is yeah, almost $10,000 by itself, depending on whether we get the carving stations and stuff added on, which we did this last year. And then the 4th of July and Halloween those are all three of our events, like get up close to $10,000.
How much is the volunteer appreciation?
Very, very little.
Michael, do me a favor on that, please make that on a Sunday and not on a Saturday, so I can attend it. 'Cause I've got the church obligation on that.
oh, the volunteer.
The volunteer. I'll see what I can do. See what I can do. So and there's a couple other events that we do as the council or as staff. The shredding event we didn't mention, that is right after tax day. And it's amazing how much people bring to shred. We have
Connected.
Gotta get rid of the evidence.
hundreds of people bringing boxes.
What taxes?
And that's a
7 years.
and that's a fun one because we actually join with Section 3, Section 5, and Rolling Wood, and we all split the cost. So it's only a couple $100 for us. But the managers stand out there together with our coffee and help people unload their boxes. So that one's something we do. And then Andrew just mentioned the volunteer appreciation event is in June before the end of the fiscal year every year. So we will invite the volunteers, not the general public, to that. But those are small dollar amounts.
And then you did this year, you offered battery recycling.
Yes.
I don't know if that's a line item in the budget or just you being a good guy. and
Yeah, that's not really an
grabbing-
event as much as as an additional service. But and we're still working on the details for that to see how it goes. So
Helpful.
yeah.
Andrew, this is Lucy.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't know. Hi, Andrew Calvers.
Nice to meet
Nice to meet you.
Susan
Thank you
Keller.
for joining the best committee,
Fun,
Is it?
fun committee.
the fun committee.
That's right.
Good to be here.
So we don't have a dates for the brunch, and the shredding event. We have a general idea. And then we can think about when we want to plug in some of these other events
We should try
ideas.
we should try to like pencil in like preferred dates for like the brunch, because we'll have to like approach La Ferme, right?
Yeah.
On dates, and so like March.
First Sunday,
The first Sunday, is that when it is?
that's when we.
That's normally when it is, yeah.
Years.
So the 1st of March or the 8th of March, yeah. So we should try to pencil.
I
it
think
in.
the first probably. Obviously, it depends on La Ferme being able to do it.
Yeah.
So March 1st with a question mark,
Yeah,
and
And if they're not able to do it, we can just move it forward.
to the next week.
to the-
the 8th.
Yeah, that's probably fine.
The shredding event.
I'll go by there, Michael, and ask them.
Great. And then the shredding event we'll schedule with the neighboring municipalities and just do it.
Okay.
So you all don't need to worry about that. I just put it on the agenda just so we could talk about it. And then the celebration on the sidewalk is already scheduled for the 5th because that's the election schedule. And then the 4th of July, we know it's the last Sunday, so that's June 28th. So we have kind of our schedule here. And we're kind of getting a late start in the year. It's already in the middle of November. And we're pulling off the Night of Lights in 3 weeks. So, well, I guess for these other events, the food truck idea, we wanted to wait until at least spring to do it. And maybe a once a month kind of idea if we can get some food trucks lined up.
And it sounds like based on Gene's outreach that they're not getting the crowds, maybe. I mean, have you gotten feedback from your friend over there?
I could ask them what their turnout is,
Yeah.
but they're asking people to pay for it themselves. So
Right.
they're just scheduling it. So,
Yeah,
if people show up, great. If not, okay.
but you said the food trucks still expect a minimum
Yeah.
to show up,
Yeah,
right?
right.
So,
They pay a minimum if
Yeah.
they don't sell, which is why they're trying to sell a certain number of
Yeah.
meals. They need to sell 300 meals
it's
to
really nicely located, that area, it's kind of centrally located. I wonder if it could be done here when things are closed.
right out front.
Yeah, as
Totally.
opposed to, dead end.
Yeah, that's totally what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 And maybe they're doing it too often, or I don't, I don't know what their cadence is, but.
I can talk
we-
to them about it and see what their
Like a
feedback
shared
is.
event, like we could split the minimum with them, but we should probably have it like in a more centralized location if we were gonna do that. I think they get more uptake, like.
Yeah.
And we could do that as often as they want to do it, because the minimum's gonna be $800-900, so we split it, it's $400. Who cares, right?
Even if it was just us. it'd
Yeah,
be-
exactly, do
it'd be
it
fine.
once a month and, just
Yeah.
have that as a standing thing that the community does.
Yeah, that'd be really great.
Um,
So that's easy. We can work on that and try to get this going in the spring. The idea of the DJ or some sort of like evening event.
Yeah, I was just thinking, maybe you could ask them to, I mean, I think we went to something, they had like a kids, it was like for little kids, they had like a guy singing with a guitar, or like, I thought like a magic show for like the little kids in the neighborhood. Like on a summer Saturday morning, it's kind of nice to, like, if you have little kids, like, have something to do, get out of the house and
Totally.
like meet at the park or wherever, have something like that.
When David and Riley were young, every year I had these clowns come and a magic show and everything else. It was really great. I've got pictures of that I can show you. And that's something that you gave me, that I did just get into that idea. I hadn't thought of that, but maybe we could do that and bring them into it. I know the guys in DC that do that. So let's think about that.
It's a good idea. I wonder if we could also like blow out the movie nights and make it more of a big event. We could have a pre-act or something if there was a magic show before the
Yeah.
movie starts.
people
Um,
doing clown animals and, whatever, like.
Yeah, we
That's,
It was Fonzie with it, Fonzie the Clown. That's what it was.
Yes.
Yeah,
Although the original Fonzie is no longer with us, but.
'Cause some of these don't need to be their own event. They could just be kind of add-ons or
Right.
improvements to the events we already have.
right.
We did one year. We hired a juggling act to come to our 4th of July party, and they walked around on stilts and stuff.
I'll show you those pictures, Michael, if you like that. That's been a long time ago.
Okay, do that.
So yeah, we can think about that. And then the first day of school, I think we should just pay for a ice cream truck, and park it somewhere.
Guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just advertise it to our kids.
You mean the first day of the school year, or of like the winter semester?
School year, which means we missed it for this year. So this is
What
the
about the last day?
It'd be last day too.
last day of
Those
school.
are usually early release days, the last days sometimes, so we can figure that out.
The last day in
Does anyone know?
It's down next to my house on that day, by the way.
Does anyone know when the last day of school is this year for the
Well, and
for
it
the nearby
depends, I mean,
schools?
Montgomery County and then the private schools obviously don't
Right.
always align, but we can figure that out.
Right.
You could even just do it as like start of, summer kickoff versus like last
Right.
day of school,
Yeah.
and then,
That's true.
yeah.
And the shaved ice cream, I checked, the
June
Claiborne,
17th.
$150 or so
Yeah.
as a minimum.
It's
It's
great.
pretty, I mean,
So
it just takes a little longer for them to put them together, like the
Yeah.
ice cream truck, it's probably easier to hand out ice cream than these guys, cause it's like.
We have the same problem
It's not.
with our ice
Well,
Yeah,
that's true. I remember the line.
The ice cream truck, there was a line there.
Yeah.
Maybe we get both,
Yeah, right.
ice cream truck and Claiborne.
We get a lot of complaints about the lines, so there's something
We should just like.
We looked at it, Michael, as a good thing because we have a lot of people.
We should just probably, because my wife, who's like a product manager, so she was like staring at the truck. She's like, I'm figuring out what they're like.
doing wrong.
And it was like,
Come on.
yeah, she was like doing optimization. She's like, they're making a lot of like milkshakes, and that takes them like
Yeah.
4 minutes per milkshake. We should just have it limited to like pre-made ice cream
Yeah.
or like
Cones
or cones.
This is
Yeah.
like.
There's also-
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like
the-
if we limited to the pre-made like ice cream sandwiches and whatever's.
I knew I liked your wife. This
The
is
fountain, the ice cream
It's
soft
like a
serve.
stapler.
It'd have been so much faster. I was like, I'll pass on your
Yeah.
concerns.
we at one of the events we did ask them to limit the menu
Yeah.
and just do things they could serve fast, and they didn't really understand what that meant. So they brought one thing. That was like not a very good ice cream.
East German.
Yeah.
It's like,
You will have vanilla.
the ice cream.
You will have vanilla.
Uh,
You will have vanilla.
so yeah, that was
Pictures of everything on the side.
Right.
It was like a
Yeah.
pre-made ice thing. Yeah.
Wednesday, June 17th is the last day of school in Montgomery County this coming year.
Yeah.
So,
I also know that a lot of kids disappear shortly thereafter for camp and things
Yeah.
like that, so.
Or maybe even do it like the week before.
weekend
June
before
27th?
Yeah.
June 17th.
17th.
Yeah.
Yeah, could be
So-
like the week before is like,
It just
Get
could be an
them to move.
afternoon
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
Park them outside or something.
Yeah, right here. Like,
That'd be great.
yeah.
As long as the market in
so
Olympia doesn't get mad at
what's
us.
the shredding
Olympia
event?
closes at like 3 though, so I think we're fine.
Yeah, that's good. 4th of July. And then lastly, and then I'll shut up. I'm gonna do some more digging. I would like to try the Avalon again, maybe in April of this year. I think if we identify a movie and start advertising it earlier than we did last year, if it
do you
if it
remember
does,
what day of the week it was? Cause
it was a Thursday or Friday last year. But the thing is we did a bad job advertising it, and we didn't say.
and it was early too.
And it was a little early, and we said, well, show up at this time. And people thought that was the movie start time, but that was like the free drinking
Right.
time, like an hour before, and people didn't get that, so they
Yeah.
didn't show up at all.
Yeah.
So I'd like to try it one more time if everybody's okay with that this year. I'll do some digging with Avalon. I'll come
I
up with
thought it
some
was
options.
great. I
Yeah.
was bummed out that it didn't have the attendance and
And
my
then
freebies there.
the second thing I will do is I'd like to flesh out maybe a wine tasting event, but bring it here to the village, maybe here or at La Ferme.
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I'll try to figure that out, and I'll bring some more details to the next meeting, and we can chat about it.
Cool. Michael, I'm gonna stop by and see them at La Ferme, either tomorrow or Friday, okay? And
For the
I'll-
brunch.
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
I'll have the date on that. And, okay, if you wanna move along here, we won't have any public comments because Marty, I know, is not gonna be online tonight, so, it's just up to us to decide off here. I'd like to schedule a meeting for next month, like 4 weeks from today. Let's come up with a date for that in November.
Actually, I would like to recommend you all just set the date that's going to happen every single month, and just having a
That
month.
works for me.
You're only going through June, and this committee ends in June, so we're talking about 5 or 6 meetings here. The council meeting is the 3rd Thursday of every month. I know the election committee meets the 1st week of every month. So if you all would meet the 2nd week of every month, that would kind of space apart my frequent committee meetings.
Is that all right with you all?
That sounds perfect. The only
Lucy?
request I would make is, can we make it on a Wednesday?
That works for me. Any day works for me.
Tuesdays or Wednesdays work for me. So.
Perfect.
Okay, what's that?
Wednesdays.
Andrew?
Don't worry about me. I can dial in or be here in person.
So we're gonna do.
Got goalie practice for one of the kids on Wednesdays, but.
So that's December 10th for the next one.
Yeah.
But
Wait a minute.
Oh, December 10th.
Yeah, all right, you're right. We're in the, gosh.
We're in November.
Thanksgiving already, yeah.
yeah,
Well, I
I
mean,
mean, I
Yeah, it is holiday party season.
Oh, yeah.
do we need a meeting in December?
Well, the
There's-
thing is
I
like
do
the
have a
Night of
holiday
Lights
party.
is gonna happen
On the 7th.
Yeah.
and it would probably be nice if we had one like right before it, just to like
Yeah,
figure out like any last.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
So would you like to move it up to the 3rd?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
3rd it is.
Good for you, Paul.
And then we'll go to the 2nd Wednesday starting in January.
yep, that's
Okay.
good.
Great.
December 3rd. Great.
And so 7:30 work for you all? Is that
Works for me.
Works for me.
Yeah, it's good for me.
great?
I guess that's it.
Outstanding.
Paul, good luck for you and really shows you look great. How
Yep.
do you feel? Do you?
Wait. Can we get a motion to adjourn before you talk about what we lost?
Give me compliments, please.
Well, my biggest compliment, you know what that is.
Okay, good night, everyone.